Ready for you, Mr. Earl.
Yes, ma'am. They have a phone number that you can contact us at. Remember the number? Song is down. Yeah. Go figure. That's the part you remember.
Hello, friends. Thank you for tuning in to Crazy Conversations with Miss Kim on intellectualradio.com. I pray that everyone is having a blessed and peaceful start to their week. I'm your host, Mrs. Kimberly Watkins Allman, and we have our executive producer, Sumner Allman, my wifey for lifey. And tonight's conversation is with the Gun Camp. We have the Gun Camp here. We have Twista, aka the Gun Coach, here today on Crazy Conversations with Miss Kim on intellectualradio.com. He is the owner and founder of the Gun Camp, multi-platinum recording artist, Chicago rap legend, Guinness World Record holder, USCCA certified firearm instructor, NRA certified firearm instructor, Illinois State certified concealed to carry instructor, USPSA competitive shooter, IDPA competitive shooter, and he's an advocate for the Second Amendment. Today on Crazy Conversations, welcome Twister and his business partner. I will let him introduce him, but Twister, can you please take over and let them know about the Gun Camp?
Thank you, Miss Kim, for that wonderful introduction. That was so dope. And I'm glad to be here representing Gun Camp. And I have my buddy here who also trained me by the name of Tony Salas from Laugh and Load, his platform and what he does. And I'm glad to be here.
I'm so happy to have you both here. Tony, thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
It's Crazy Conversations.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited.
So you gonna say something crazy?
I tend to, yeah.
All right, let's get started. Well, as far as the Gun Camp, we are trying to help everyone become safer. We need to be safe out here. And my training and my wife's training came from no other than Twista. He taught me how to shoot a gun for the first time. He taught my wife better than he taught me because she know some couple techniques that I didn't see in class. So I figured he gave her a little side curriculum class on shooting because, again, his class was amazing. We learned firearm safety, shooting fundamentals, the proper grip, the proper stance, appropriate aim. I mean, once we left the room with the Gun Camp, I was no longer afraid of my weapon.
That's beautiful.
Again, I was the type that did not want a weapon in the home. I didn't want to learn. I didn't want to know anything about a gun. But again, I have to be out here. And I'm a woman, a businesswoman, and I needed to be trained properly.
Yes.
Not just trained. I needed professionals to show me exactly how to survive out here. And who did I call? The Gun Camp. So again, the Gun Camp will teach you everything you need to know about safety. But I'm going to let Twista talk to y'all because I'm all in his business.
Oh, no, man. You're laying it out. And I'm glad that y'all were able to take in the information like that, and the training doesn't stop. We still continue to train ourselves. So we want the same thing for any student or anybody that we train because, we just want your skills to continue to grow. And plus, you don't ever get enough of learning how to protect yourself, So I'm glad y'all were able to retain the information like that. And that's what Gun Camp is here for, we advocate for our rights. And, to carry. And we just want people out here to be safe, especially in the city of Chicago, state of Illinois. So we take pride as the Gun Camp Foundation, and not only giving back as far as helping people train themselves and become more accoladed to the firearm world and the firearm itself, but also, man, we want to give to people. So sometimes we do things for free because we want people to come out, and sometimes people can't afford, you want to protect yourself, and some of us can't afford it. So we don't want a monetary thing to be a reason that you can't protect yourself. So a lot of times what the Gun Camp Foundation is preparing to do is to actually go out into different locations and do free courses, free seminars, so we can help people get more accoladed to protect themselves.
Well, you have sent me information about free courses and free things that you have done within the community. And the good part about it is that when you say give back, you give a lot back to your city.
Yeah,
and I
we try
pray that your city appreciates what you give and what you pour into Chicago, because I'm doing a petition. You're going to have your own boulevard. Before Miss Kim stop, I'm going to make sure you have a boulevard. You're going to rep Chicago. West side of Chicago. Twist going to get his
Y'all heard it right here. Y'all heard it right here.
Own boulevard. And definitely people need to get involved in the safety classes that you all offer with the Gun Camp, because I have to say that we showed up to class, but I promise you, we did not leave the same. We did not leave the same.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. That's what it's for. And I'm glad to see people, every time we do a course, I'm always glad to see people become more accoladed. And a lot of times they think they don't want to know about the firearm, but it's really just fear with a lot of people. Some of us, we see so much negativity when it comes to firearms, so we think we don't want it around. We don't want it in our home. But if you educate yourself to it, especially because you may end up around one. It's one thing to have a choice to not want to be around one, but what if you end up around one when it's not your choice? You know what I mean? So it's other reasons to at least know how they operate and how to use one. So I think it's important, and I love seeing my community get past that stereotype, overcome that stereotype and those negative thoughts, and want to actually train and be more part of the 2A community. I love it.
That was me. I was terrified. But when I knew that you were gonna instruct us and facilitate the class, I said, well, maybe he'll have a special need version that I can relate to, and you were very patient with me, and you kept making me repeat stuff until I got it right. You was like, no, you're not sliding through this class. So I appreciate the firmness and you standing on what the gun camp means, that gun camp experience. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about having you as a gun coach and the experience that they will get when they call for your services?
Well, one of the good things is how passionate I am about it. Okay. And as I teach, like, I'm still a student, so as I teach, I'm constantly learning new things, new ways, new techniques to help teach my students and people as I grow. So I'm always excited for people to come see me, because I feel like you're not only going to get the experience of a person who knows what they're doing, but I still feel like I'm kind of new in the space, in the 2A community, and I want people to share that passion and growth with me along the way too, as I grow and learn things. And then, like I said, I learned a lot from this guy here, Tony Salas, and I'm still learning from him. We grow and learn things every day, but he's the one that trained me and helped me realize how important it is for me and a lot of people in our community to know how to protect ourselves. So yeah, you got to come see Gun Coach, because I was trained by the best, and you're gonna get some of the best I would say classes, courses, techniques, experience, our wisdom and how we put it down. And like I said, I'm not just by myself. We got the whole gun camp. I got Tony Salas, I got my man Eddie Tactical, we got my man Eric Iggy Keys, we got Creative Scott, we got so many people that's involved with the gun camp that are in the firearms community or involved in different ways, whether it's officers, whether it's instructors, like, we're in it. So Gun Camp is a good place to come to just get in that whole mind state of firearms and what the Second Amendment is about. And come see me, Twista Gun Coach, if you want to get your concealed carry license, your renewal license, and if you want to get trained for competition, which is something that I feel is a great segue for people to get into shooting and overcome that whole fear and stigma and just learning about firearms. I feel like competitive shooting is definitely a way for you to get into firearms, and my guy Tony right here is definitely the man for that.
I have a question for Tony. This crazy conversations, Tony, I just want to remind you.
Okay.
How important do you feel is it for everyone to get their CC license? Because I was happy riding dirty. Just being honest. I was happy. It was okay with me. But then everybody started saying, oh, you need a Floyd. You got to get legal, Miss Kim.
Yeah, there was a lot of us that took the dirty route before it was legal.
Okay.
I mean, this is the city we live in. We're not dumb.
Right.
So, but when it became legal, I mean, it's one of those things, why not?
Right.
Right. And then get the education on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of people are scared of guns, probably like yourself, right? If
Yes.
you don't know it, that's what makes you scared more than anything.
Mm-hmm.
And having someone patient. CT was really humble with when he said he's passionate about it. I don't think he gives himself enough credit.
No, he doesn't.
He is so passionate. I guarantee as much as he may work on beats or new tracks, he's sending me videos on, hey, we should try this technique. How about this? Does this work?
Mm-hmm.
There's not many people that I know that come into the gun world and do that. So he was hooked. I mean, he is a nerd when it comes to shooting.
Oh,
He loves it.
Yes, he was very patient, because he was one of my, he the one who like had me with range, because I was kind of nervous. At the end of the class, you have to go to range. And he had patience with me. He taught me, like literally taught me, he didn't care how long it took to hold the gun. And he said you could do it. He put confidence in you. He makes sure that you don't give up. So that's one thing I can't say, that this is his passion, this is what he loved. And I learned a lot from them 2-day classes. I learned a lot from him in 2 days. Within 2 hours, he was hands-on. And he said, if you want to come after the class, you could come to my extended class, and I will help you personally. So that's one thing like you said, he's very passionate about what he does.
Thank you.
yes, it was an amazing
Thank
class.
you. Yeah.
And I believe
I had fun too. It
Yes.
was a fun time. Yeah, it
we
was.
had a good time at the daycare. That was something amazing for my parents. Can you please tell everyone a little bit about that 2-day class, so if they are looking
Oh yeah.
to have that CCL course, they can have that experience in 16 hours?
Yeah, and sometimes people think it takes so much to get your license. It definitely takes those 2 days, and trust me, those 2 days aren't really long enough for you to learn what you need to learn. But that is what the state requires for you to have, is a 16-hour 2-day course, so you can get your concealed carry license. And usually we do them on the weekends. So if you want to get your concealed carry license through me, you go to the Gun Camp website and go ahead, Tony.
You can also check out twistaguncoach.com. And we are going to also be offering night weekday classes for people that have to work on the weekends. Those will be coming soon. We're just working on the scheduling.
Okay, okay.
Because we know some people have to work, well, Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Yes, that would be amazing. So along with your CCL certificate, what else will the course provide you with?
Go ahead, Tony.
Oh, you'll get your
Well,
certification.
You get your certification. Well, along with getting your certification, you get to chill with me for a couple of days and learn how to shoot a gun and many things along with the 2A lifestyle from me, which I feel is dope, too, because if I'm going to see, like, say, a concert or doing something like that, and I'm like, okay, I get to sit here for a half hour, see this person, but I would much rather get to hang around Jada Kiss or Jay-Z or somebody for a 2-day course or something like that. So I think it's dope that you get to hang around me. I get to hang around students for 2 days like that, and then you learn so much. You learn the fundamentals when it comes to firearms safety, like the 4 universal safety rules, which are, to me, one of the most important things to know. You learn that first in the door. You're going to learn how to draw your firearm. You're going to learn how to clean your firearm, how often you should take it to the gun range, real life scenarios. Because one thing that coming to that class does is also teaches you situational awareness. So it's not just about coming into the class and let me go through the course so I can get my license and leave. It also teaches you why you're in this course, how to pay attention to things that's going on around you. We have discussions about the climate of the world today, the environment you're living in, and the way that you should move and little things you can do to prevent yourself from ever having to use that firearm. So that's just as important as actually learning about the gun.
And that was one of the things that I learned in the course was the right time to use your firearm.
Yes.
Because, you know, me, this crazy conversations, Tony, stop looking at me. I watch Tubi, so I think I just supposed to draw whenever, you know?
I mean, to be fair, I watch Tubi too, because the only ones with the Steve Harvey show.
So the one thing I did learn after that course is it showed me the appropriate time and setting to draw my firearm if needed be. And along with the other, the firearm and the gun range safety, those were things that I loved about the course, but I do feel as though it's probably time for me a refresher course, you know.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody needs refresher courses. Everybody
Yeah,
does.
because I'm ready for the red dot.
Yeah, so
I'm ready for the red dot, Tony.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put it out there. Crazy conversation.
crazy conversations, baby. We talk about red dots.
Yes.
It's going down.
Yes, that's exactly what I needed to know. But Twista, you seem to have such a great sense of humor. Always. Plus this crazy conversations.
Oh, yeah.
Have
sure.
you ever had anyone in your gun camp course and you said, no, they will not be shooting a gun in the state I live in?
We definitely have had some off-the-wall people where you might say to yourself, am I sure that I want to actually let this person go through this course? Like,
so what do
maybe
you
this
do?
person needs to go back to the drawing board. And it's hard to hurt a person's feelings sometimes. Like, you don't want to just come straight out and tell them, like, look, you don't need to be here. You know, you can't just come out and say that.
Yeah, I'm glad you kept working with me because I knew I was going to summer school. I knew I was going to summer school, but...
How you let them down, Tony? Give me
How
a
do you
good
let
technique.
a person down if you know they're not ready for a firearm?
I mean, it's situational. I mean, there are some people where it's like, this is not a conversation we're having, you don't belong here, or is it someone who is so terrified of it that they can't grasp it because they can't get past the fear? That's something where you're not going to take this class. You're going to take a class with, you know, Twista or myself or both of us, and we're going to start breaking down those walls of fear to get you more comfortable, because a lot of times it's not that they can't grasp and retain the knowledge, it's just they're so paralyzed by fear that they can't get out of their own way.
Because once you have taken the course, like I took the course 2 years ago, and I'm ready for a refresher course. So how soon should you start to renew what you learned?
Yesterday.
I feel you. I feel you. You're right.
Yeah.
So
it is a diminishing skill too. So you know, it's something that will leave after a while over time. Like, you'll still be able to naturally do it, but like if you don't keep up with it on some level of consistency, then you have a certain level of skill that diminishes. That may not be a good thing, whether you're in competition or a real life situation. So, you know, even if you don't tend to be a nut with it like me on the everyday level, you still kind of want to make sure you go into the range at least 2, 3, 4 times a month at the least. You know what I mean? So my suggestion would at least be, you don't want my suggestion, I would say a couple times a week.
So what do you do to stay abreast of all the new gun laws? Because I remember in class you kept saying on January 1st, check this, and these type of things change when it comes to guns and different laws. So how do we keep up with that? You know, I'm in the 098 CCL class, so I need to know. exactly what, how do I
had to think
stay?
about what that was. I'm like,
How do I how do I stay on top of those new gun laws that come out? Is it like because you have your license, do they send you things, or do you just have to be mindful of
Oh
what
no,
you
this
do?
is the state of Illinois. They expect you to know everything.
Yeah.
They're not going to tell you anything.
Not at all.
No, you can look in places like USCCA is really good about keeping up to date on what's new, and they'll post things about, hey, this is changing. Or there's other organizations like the Illinois State Rifle Association, which is dedicated to our state, and you can literally just sign up for their newsletter.
And that USCCA, they're the ones that send me that magazine every month, and then they always have new things in there.
That's definitely an informal magazine.
Yeah,
too.
so that magazine's actually, we have 3 coming there for some reason. So I guess 3 people signed up at the same address. So we all get our magazines, so we stay abreast of what's going on. So if
That's
you
a
know
good
we
thing.
get that magazine, then you know we got that insurance, right, Tony? So can you tell them a little bit about that insurance that you can get once you become licensed?
Well, I mean, I'll start off. I just think it's important for people to have the same way that you would consider having insurance on your car to be important. So go a level up. You know, you got a firearm. This can actually hit a person the same way a car will and do similar, if not more damage. So you want to be able to protect yourself in that situation, and you know, in so many different ways. And what having insurance does is it puts you directly in touch with the person that specializes in that field. So depending on what insurance you get, you know, if you don't have it, hey, some regular attorney that's probably never done this before or once or twice, you got this type of insurance, you get somebody that specializes in this on a regular basis. And then there's other factors too, like your firearm being stolen or other things that can happen in situations. So I think it's a good thing to have some form of insurance if you have a firearm.
And another thing that I learned in the gun camp course was to switch up how I did things every day.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was so important. In class, I didn't, but after class and going to the range and having some more talks with some about it, and she said that, you know, you heard what Twist said. People watching us every day.
Mm-hmm.
So switch it up.
Creative.
Calm down.
Switching up the routine.
Calm down Ashland a little bit more. Stop coming down Halsted every day. So I had to just switch it up.
Yeah, you definitely don't want a pattern that somebody can follow.
And I felt like my life was a pattern. I felt like everybody know what time I'm coming in. They know what time Miss Kim start work. They know what time daycare ends. So if I do have to go somewhere, you said switch it up. Do not keep the same plan every day. The same routine.
And he also said, always keep one hand free. I remember the class.
Yeah.
He said, always keep one hand available. Don't never have no hands full. Always keep that one hand, so just in case someone walk up to you, you could do what you have to do.
I struggle with that.
I paid
still.
attention in class.
Yes, you did. You was teacher's pet because you know how to shoot better than me. So you was teacher's pet. That's what. But
That's
again,
right.
that was the one thing that I took into consideration, and I stopped talking the same way on the way home. I pay attention. I'm looking at my surroundings. If I can't have someone to meet me on the receiving end, I'm going to wait. You know, I try.
Situational awareness.
Exactly, because
pay attention.
I just don't want to have to use anything if it could be prevented.
Right.
You know? So
they need to be safe. They don't want no problems with you.
that's the radio version I just gave them, Twist. So, you know,
It's crazy conversation.
this is crazy conversations. So, you know, you have to just stop allowing people to master your schedule. Change it up. I got way too comfortable.
And we all do. We all do. And have to, you know, we got to wake up and switch it up sometimes.
That's human nature.
It's human nature. But this is why it is so important that everyone goes out and take these self-defense classes, take these CCL classes. It's only going to help you in the long run.
That's
Can
right.
you tell the listeners if their CCL license is valid in other states?
Well, there's one app too called Legal Heat that I would say if you're from Illinois, grab that app because it answers a lot of these questions.
Okay.
It lets you know where your Illinois concealed carry is valid at, where it's not. And I think at this point it's how many states do you know right offhand?
I want to say 38.
Okay. So, and you know, another state every once in a while gets added in there. And then there's a few spots where your Illinois concealed carry may not be valid, but then you also have Florida. You can get a concealed carry from there that may be valid in certain states, whereas Illinois is not, even Utah.
Okay.
You know, so-
And those kind of just add on. So if it was 38, then if you have Florida and Utah, that adds like
Well,
5 more states.
I was wrong. I looked up 26 states, so maybe it was me that was off. So
No, you could be right.
yeah,
I could be
it's
wrong.
crazy conversation.
It wouldn't be the first
so.
time.
But can you tell the listeners some of the places that you should not have your firearm?
Well, I would rather have it everywhere, but
I knew you were going to say that.
you know,
That's something.
the state requires that you don't have it in certain places. You know, hospitals, you know, certain facilities, whereas they may
Courthouse.
serve liquor.
Daycares.
You know, courthouses, daycares, you know, even certain parks and
Yes.
things like this.
At
Public
all park
transportation.
districts.
So actually, it's not all park districts. It's actually just Cook County that has a problem
See,
with it.
Cook County, Illinois.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cook County.
The
Isn't
ones where
that?
the black folks hang out at.
Well, they need to call the gun camp and learn how to use, teach, and stay legal with your CCL in Illinois.
Oh yeah.
I really think that people don't understand just how urgent it is to have that certificate, to
Yeah.
have that FOID card, to go through this class. It's life changing.
I mean, it's a safety net. That's one of the best safety nets that you can have is to know that you can actually protect yourself or your family if
Yep.
need be.
that
you know,
that matters.
You never want to feel helpless. You know what I mean? So if you can do something about it and you see you have the opportunity or a God-given right to do something about it, then you want to take advantage of that in case something happens. You know.
So, can one of you please let everyone know exactly what they will get and what the class will cover? Because I know that after tonight, everybody's going to want the gun coach.
It's gonna be 8 chapters. It's a lot to learn in those 8 chapters, but you know, like we said, we try to be patient and make sure that students all regurgitate the information as much as they can. We also want to make sure that everyone continues to train, because you can't take those 2 days and think that, okay, from this point, I'm a samurai with this thing now. You know, it's not going to be like that. You constantly need to get trained. And like I said, when you get there, you're not going to only get your license. You're going to know how and when to pull that thing out. You're going to have a better sense of awareness about yourself and know what to do. And like I said, you'll know how to protect your family. In life, you can never really predict what's going to happen. You can't really predict a special technique or way that you can handle every situation. So you want to do the best you can to be prepared for it. Like if you train and you practice some of these things, then you're better equipped to take care of yourself than a person that hasn't done any of it. So like I said, you can't predict it, but taking a concealed carry course and courses like it can definitely put you in a position where, if need be, you can protect yourself or your family. And then, like you said, some of us are just nuts about this. It's something we do for competition. There's many other things or reasons to get into firearms, as far as it being a sport or different things, because I noticed too with a lot of my young people, especially in the urban community, I feel like a lot of the young people miss their calling. Like there's one young man recently that I was talking about with my cousin, and all he was saying was, man, he loved them guns ever since he was a shorty. He just loved them guns ever since he was young. And the way he was telling me this young guy's story, it felt like to me that if he had been introduced to a firearm in a different setting,
In a positive
in a
setting.
positive setting or some other circumstances, that he may have been a competitive shooter like myself, or a firearms instructor, or an officer, or security, anything.
Yeah,
So
something
a lot of these young guys and females too that are out here doing certain things or infatuated with firearms in a negative way don't even realize that if they had been introduced to it in some other way, they might have been out here just, not so drawn to some of the negative things and not succumbing to some of the traumas that they may have been through. And this 2A space can save you, not just because of the gun, but because of your mind. It gives you a good space.
And even though the gun camp will teach you about home defense laws, about being a CCL holder, just real life scenario. If someone you don't know enters your home, is it legal to draw your firearm?
Ooh, man. Can I come in your house, Tony? You don't know me.
Not you.
Well, not me. Don't count me. I don't know. Tony might hurt me. So,
So
no, I'm just
Yes,
playing.
yeah.
But yes.
oh,
Yes,
It
you
is
can.
legal. Yes.
so it's legal. So, but that doesn't mean that I won't face legal troubles if something was to happen.
Yeah, correct. So it's not like and that's kind of where the insurance comes into play. It's important to have it because we're not talking about, oh, this is a fender bender,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
This is you're potentially taking someone's life or severely injuring someone because they've decided that whatever you have is more important to them than you being safe.
And so this is where the urgency of being licensed, being insured comes into play.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think that's I guess to answer your question, that's the beauty of our course is you can actually take our course without even having your FOID card. You can be a complete newbie and take our course because we cover everything from going over to the most trivial parts of a gun, teaching you vernacular, what the parts are, what the smallest details are, all the way up to the current laws, where you can and cannot carry, and the situational awareness stuff that goes along with carrying, how to properly hide a gun, how to conceal your gun.
Mm-hmm.
People think, oh, I'll just throw my shirt on. It's really not that easy. There's some thought that's put into this. And then especially I think something that T and I bring to it is we're real in class. Our class is not lecture based.
It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun, but people learn when they're relaxed and having a good time. You
Yeah.
retain more stuff, and that's kind of our goal is to be able to do that. But we also the actual shooting portion, learning about the gun is very important to
Yeah.
both of us, and that's
Yeah.
not covered in most classes.
Mm-hmm.
We want you, like, what's something you do every day? Every day. Like, you could do it with a blindfold on, without thinking.
I love my calories. All I do is eat
Okay.
and
So,
work
is there a
and
favorite?
chase kids.
Okay. So, every day, what's something you can do without thinking when you're chasing kids or eating?
One thing I can do,
Just one thing. How about driving your car?
yeah, or get on Facebook.
Okay. So you would probably even know exactly, if you're not on the home screen, you can swipe left or right, not even think about it, hit the Facebook icon, right?
Sure can.
Without even thinking about it.
I got a problem.
T can do the same thing when it comes to draw a gun.
And that was my next question. How many hours do you have to put in to be a competitive shooter? Like, how many hours do you have to put in? Because I didn't get that in my course.
There's only one person that said it best, and that's Kobe. More.
More?
It doesn't stop. More training.
Stop. Yeah.
Oh my, so what do you get when you are a competitive shooter? Are there awards? Is it what happens when you become?
Well, that's what being passionate about shooting gives you.
Okay.
There's a sense of self gratification. And definitely you get more accolades. Like if you're a shooter and like say you're training or something like that, if you're winning and you're doing good in your sport and people can see that, then people are more prone to come to you, whether it's a student or whether it's a company or something like that. So definitely doing good in the sport helps you excel in that field, in that world. but a lot of it too is self-gratification, you know. And then one thing I learned, like I was like, okay, I'll go shoot this course or do it like this, or like, oh, okay, I'm getting faster, and I'm like, oh, and then you're loving the sport and you're loving the passion of it, and then somebody, like, you're sitting there, and then somebody brings up the whole idea of protecting yourself, and then right in that instance, you wasn't thinking about protecting yourself, you're shooting these targets, and then you have that aha moment and realize, wait a minute, if 3 people run in my house right now at exactly the same time, I can probably pop, pop, pop. And you go, wow, because you realize that in using this as a sport, I have become somewhat dangerous.
That's some.
You know what I mean?
That's some. I'm living with a dangerous one. No.
So, but I'm on your side.
Why didn't I learn that part?
So, you know, that's to me, one of the best parts of using this as a sport is you inadvertently become a dangerous mother.
It's something about taking the class that just makes you the new spot to hang out at is the range now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
oh yeah,
everybody hangs at the range now. Everybody's we CCL now, so this is what we do. So you have a package that was brought to my attention, the Platinum Gun Coach Experience Package. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about that package?
well,
Go ahead.
what? The Platinum Gun Coach Experience Package is something that I felt was fun and necessary for me to put together for people to experience the whole feel of what it's like to hang out and shoot with Twista in the gun range. So that Platinum package, you come out with me, we talk, we train, I help coach you, we sit and shoot on the range. But one of the most fun things is my collection. I have a very special gun collection. And if you come hang out with me, you will get to shoot some of the most crazy and fancy guns, some of them you've never seen or even heard of in your life.
So you get 3 hours one-on-one training with Twista. In this training, you are taught about high-end and exotic guns.
Taught about them as much as you want to learn about them, but more than that, we're going to have some fun shooting them. And if you don't know how to shoot them, I'm going to show you how to shoot them, what the parts are being used for. Tony, you want to add on to it?
Nah, you really, it's, when T was coming up with the concept of it, I thought it was awesome, because when we go to the range, sometimes we get trapped in taking for granted what we do. And he's like, other people need to experience this. I mean, there's guns here that you can't even fathom exist. And we just grab them, oh yeah, this is awesome, but we want to, let people experience, like, this is fun. It doesn't have to be serious all the time. Mm-hmm. This is fun. Instead of going to the movie theaters, let's go to the gun range.
Yeah. I want to be able to tell somebody, like, did you see John Wick? And they say, yeah. And they be like, did you see the gun he was shooting? And they say, yeah. I'd be like, here, I got one right here.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you come with me, you get to shoot the John Wick gun. It's so many things that you can do as far as firearms hanging out at the range with me. And that's why we call it the Twista Gun Coach Experience.
So can you please let the listeners know how to enroll in one of these gun camp courses?
This is where Tony helps me out.
Come on, Tony. Come on, Tony.
If you just call 828-552-4867, that's how you get in touch with me. 828-552-4867. And if I don't answer, you leave a message. And what makes this phone number so special is the last 4 digits. This is actually 828-552-GUNS.
All right,
so just
now.
remember that.
It's crazy conversation.
828-552-GUNS, and get in touch with Twista, Gun Coach Twista, and you can sign up and get your CCL license, or you can get your renewal, or if you want to get into competitive shooting, you can get up with my man Tony Salas.
So my last question is, what are your top 5 guns?
It's an impossible
Am
question.
I in your business?
No. It's
I hope
like,
we got another hour.
I had to ask the boss.
Well, she said 5, so I'll stop. I'll try to stop at 55. No,
This is a weekly conversation we have.
Okay, we ready.
So that's like me asking one of y'all, like, what's one of y'all favorite, I don't know, piece of clothing. You know what I mean? It's like,
Purse,
you can't
purse,
purse.
shoes.
Yeah, shoes.
Top 5, sir.
Okay.
She said, hurry up and answer the question.
I will say there's a builder from Illinois by the name of Mark who makes these guns called Carne Customs guns. That's one of my favorite guns, hands down. I shot it today and was telling him, man, I don't think nothing is better than this gun. So the Carne Customs gun, Staccato, it's a gun called the Staccato XC. That's one of my favorite guns right there too. There's this gun called the Phoenix Trinity H Pro. That gun is one of my favorite guns as well. Then they have the Taran Tactical Sand Viper. That's the gun that John Wick was shooting in the movie. So that's one of my favorite guns as well. And probably last but not least is this gun called the Alien. We gonna shoot it. Wait, let's go to the range. I'm bringing all these.
Okay.
Yeah, back to this.
Okay.
The Alien, and it shoots flat. And what they mean when they say it shoots flat is, you know how when you see a gun go boom and it jumps a little bit, this one stays a little flat. It doesn't rise
jerk.
as much. The muzzle doesn't rise up as much. So those are 5 of my favorite guns right there. And anybody that knows guns knows that I just named 5 hella guns. A 6th one, honorary mention, the Infinity.
The Infinity. Tony, can you please give them the information one more time, how to register for the Gun Camp course? We need that number and information again.
Sure, you can sign up online at twistedguncoach.com, or the phone number is 828-552-GUNS. 828-552-4867.
That sounds so dope.
So now that we are back, we needed to know, and I know the listeners want to know, you are my favorite rap artist.
This is dope.
And again,
I saw it already. What I need to
We
put
know
down.
that you are celebrating 20 years Kamikaze.
Yeah.
Now the question of the night is, can you remember Miss Kim's favorite song on that album?
I can fit this too.
You sung it at my
Yeah.
40th birthday party, the
Yeah,
first
I can
song.
fit this too. Yeah.
Look.
Okay,
doesn't
wait a
wanna-
minute. Yeah, I was trying to avoid it.
Yeah, I
forgot.
kind of, I know.
It's not Overnight Celebrity.
Yes, it is.
Okay, boom.
Yes, it is. So, Crazy Conversations along with Jazzy May
Yes.
wanted you to have that wonderful hoodie.
This is dope.
Because
and I
we
can fit it too.
appreciate you.
That's why I'm geek, because I
Yes.
can actually fit it.
Yes. I had to go. I'm like, what size is? I had to go on the internet to look at where you was last weekend on Instagram and say, okay, he can fit it. Yeah, he can fit it. So now while
This is
we
dope.
are talking about your 20th year anniversary, Kamikaze, January 27th,
Oh yeah.
2004,
Oh yeah.
Bronco,
Take it back.
Snicker color Bronco.
Wow.
Look, that's how we get down. A
Man,
long time.
That's a long time.
A long time.
That's
So
a long time.
if I could not celebrate that 20 years, I was going to feel some kind of way. Because rap music, I was brought up on Avers, 18th and Avers. That's where my family is. That's where my family still is. And we was faithful and loyal to our own.
And that's the block. And I'm not even from the block, but it feels like it. Because
You was from the block.
I was from the block. I was from the block.
So can you tell everybody
there every
on
day.
the block who inspired you to do your music?
Well, to do my music.
Because you are
Wow.
unique.
That's a funny question, because it started so long ago. I can actually say, like, it's odd. What inspired me to do my music was really some of the first hip hop rappers that I heard and listened to. It happened to be people like Rakim. He knows Eric B. and Rakim, you know. So those people like,
paid
you know,
in
Eric
full. I'll
B.
be
Okay,
50.
all right. Well, let me stop playing then.
Yeah, I'll be
Eric B. and Rakim. Of course, LL Cool J. You know, Run DMC. these were the type of people that really inspired me. But when it really got me, was when Lottie Dottie came out. Remember Lottie Dottie? Yeah.
Yes.
So man, when Slick
I love
Rick,
Lottie
yeah,
Dottie.
when Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh came out, I was already dabbling, but when they came out, that's when I really wanted to take it serious.
So, just before we end, what's your top 5 artists?
Sometimes it changes, but just going off the top, and this is just me going with my favorites, not about who I think is the dopest people in the world. Rakim is just my favorite rapper. LL Cool J has always been one of my favorite rappers or artists. Big Daddy Kane.
Yes.
I love Big Daddy Kane. to death.
Yes.
It's so many of them.
Those are old school. Who you like new school?
New?
I don't know
mean,
no. New. I only know Dirk. I
know-
don't know anybody else.
I love Lil Durk. I've always liked Chief Keef.
Yes.
So these are 2 artists that I like a lot. I like Chance the Rapper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like a lot of the Chicago artists.
Coast.
Huh?
You've been on Coast lately. Contra.
Yeah, Coast Contra. A lot of people don't know them. Check them out, Coast Contra. It's like some of the newest dope rap that you could ever hear today. These young cats, these 5 cats, they really get it in. Yeah, Coast Contra. But it's a lot of guys. A lot of the new up and coming guys from the city. Super, my man, Super, what's up? Super BWE. So many of them.
Well, you have inspired so many in Chicago. And like I said, I will continue to petition for that boulevard.
Thank you.
I'm thinking
I
they should
appreciate
turn Independence over to you.
Man, you need to do something.
Yeah.
I used to walk up and down Independence so much. I mean, man.
We all did, yes. And they
I
owe
feel
you
like
that.
I put enough footprints on.
I'm calling Brandon Johnson. We give you a boulevard in Chicago.
That's what it do.
Well,
I would
again-
love that though. I'd be ecstatic.
Well, again, we are so excited that you came to spend this time with us on Crazy Conversation. Is there anything else you would like to say to our wonderful listeners?
I want all of the listeners to hold everybody in this room true to their word to come back and train with me and Tony.
Yes. Well, I have no choice.
You know, I want to give a special shout out to Creative Scott. That's my
Yes.
man. He's the one that actually trained me to be an instructor. So, Tony trained me to be a competitive shooter and just a better shooter than I am all around. Creative Scott actually gave me the skill to be an instructor, and one of the reasons to why I'm able to do these classes and you're able to sign up to Gun Coach. So shout out to him.
Yes, we love Cree. We love Cree. Well, I know he's listening, so again, he's a faithful listener to Crazy Conversations, and we appreciate everything he brings to the CCL world. And again, you also, too, you train the instructors. You turn a regular individual like me into an instructor, right?
Well, yeah, that's actually a certification that Creative has.
Okay.
But I do assist him in doing it sometimes.
Okay.
So
So even
definitely,
if
if you
they're-
want to become an instructor, then you would hit up Creative Scott.
Okay. And so in order to become an instructor, stay an instructor, you just refer them over to Cree, and then
Yeah.
you all will still work together. And
Oh yeah, we all work together. We all passionate about that. Like I said,
Yes.
it's the gun camp. We all make up the gun camp. So
Yes.
we all just have special skills or certain things that we like to do the most.
right.
So Creative, he's gonna make you an instructor. Me, I'm gonna help you get your concealed carry license and do a lot of basic training. Bring you out to have the Twista experience, concealed carry. Tony, concealed carry, renewals, especially competitive shooting that he can help you with. And man, we do it. We do it all.
Yeah, that wasn't basic what you showed my wife, but I'm not gonna go there on Crazy Conversations. That was way better than basic.
Yeah, we gotta get it in. You gotta throw you gotta throw something else. It all can't be basic. Once
Yes,
you see
it
somebody
was
has
good.
the knowledge,
Just say you
then,
make basic was good.
So
It was fun.
again,
It was fun.
We
It was fun.
appreciate you coming and spending this time with us on Crazy Conversations. I heard somebody turning 50 and you got to turn up with them.
man. Hey, I gotta say, when exactly is this B-Day though?
I'm born on Halloween,
Really?
1974.
Man, I wish I was born on Halloween. That's so dope. That's
But
dope.
again, I'm turning 50, so
So
I'm
we
gonna
gotta
be,
turn up together. That's
Yes.
around the same time. So
Yes, Yes.
Mine ain't too far from there.
Yes, so we have, I'm turning 50. I'm a 1974 baby.
Okay, let me
So-
know so we can turn up.
Oh, you
Y'all let
old
me
then,
know.
Kim.
I am on, wife. You're not getting a new model. You're not getting a new model. I don't care how good you shoot. Now, back to crazy conversations. Now, Twist, I'm all on the books for the birthday.
It's going down. Yep, it's going down.
Okay.
Y'all know it. Y'all heard it right here. Crazy Conversations, Miss Kim. 50-piece, baby. Halloween style.
50
It's
piece
going
with
down.
mild sauce.
You
right
dig?
here on intellectualradio.com. Thank you all for listening, friends. Good night.